there. Welcome to Kim Porter TV. I'm Kim Porter, business and personal development coach for women entrepreneurs, and I have with me today Kim Hudson. She is the founder and publisher of Your Natural Guide. It is a hub of natural living. She has a podcast, website, online magazine where you can actually go see the magazine, and her beautiful imprint magazine.
Oh,
so gorgeous.
Thank you.
And she also has Teach Me Tuesdays on Facebook, where it is a live, what would you call it, educational?
Yeah, it's a live series.
Yeah. Where she goes to local businesses and finds about natural living. Mm-hmm. So, what made you want to create this?
So I have always been interested in kind of natural living and kind of the industry and incorporating that into my lifestyle and my family's lifestyle. And I've dabbled in a few natural living kind of potions and tonics and eating right and clean eating. And what I've come to find in the last 2 years is that there's a budding industry in Hampton Roads. Mm-hmm. And there's so many great businesses and experts and health practitioners that are readily available to assist people and families in kind of my situation. And so I just found myself kind of Googling and trying to find these people, and it was very tiresome.
It's like a dark hole when you go down the Google.
I mean, it is, because I'll start one place and then I'll end up at like self-help books. So all roads lead to self-help books. But anyway, so I was like, I'm a big kind of magazine person and kind of a problem solver in a way. And I said, well, I wish that there was one place that somebody could go to learn more about the natural living industry in Hampton Roads. And so, yeah, I kind of created Your Natural Guide. And
you created it. I mean, you had this, we were talking earlier, this little idea. And so Kim and I, the reason I wanted to have her on, we got together, we were at this party on New Year's Eve, and I got her in the corner, we started talking, and then all of a sudden, what did you call it? You were like, we just sucked the air out of the room, and we're in sync with each other. The conversation was so
fierce.
Yeah, it was really a good conversation. Yeah, I left there yes.
Yeah, people were like, what were y'all talking about?
Were they? So I left early.
Which is often, I'll find somebody in the room and we just gravitate and we just chime in, and everybody has something going on in their lives. So it was
relatable. It was so the energy and the ideas that were coming from this space was it was fun. It was a really cool, and so I was like, Kim, you have to come, because not only do I really think that your magazine is just such a great thing to have. You saw something that wasn't here and you wanted to create it yourself. But let me find out. Let me have you tell our audience where that came from, because that to me is the coolest story.
Okay. So I was kind of sitting around the table one day, and again, I was a friend of mine was in the natural living space, and my family uses products and things like that. And again, I just kind of was like, oh, there's nothing here that kind of incorporates the industry. And so this was literally about in 2016. So this was about 2.5 years ago. Maybe 3 years ago. I don't know what year it is now, but 3 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Time just goes by. I don't know what day
it is. It's 2019, yeah.
So I said, well, I just kind of was like, well, maybe I should create one. And I was in a career that I had been in for 15 years, and I was successful. Yeah, I was pretty successful, and I liked it for the most part. And then, I think the universe just kind of guided me to this.
You said whispers.
Yeah. I just kept thinking about this publication.
And you said it wouldn't let you go.
And
when she was like, it wouldn't let me go, I was like, yes, that's what I want to hear. It wouldn't let you go, and you thought you were crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, as most people would look on the outside, you have a career, you've been in it for 15 years, you have a beautiful family. What are you doing?
Yeah, well, there was always that kind of, as time was progressing, I was finding myself more and more kind of dissatisfied with the role that I was in my previous career. And I didn't want to go up, I didn't want to go down, I didn't want to go sideways. And I was like, well, what is next in my life? And every time I would ask that question, it would always lead me back to this. And I was like,
light is blinking. We might lose the light.
But that's good. No, just kidding. See, it's like the universe is like, tell your story. So it just would not let me go. And I would cry to my husband and I would be like, I want to do this. I want to do this project. I want to do this project. Is it the right time? I was really nervous about taking the leap and the jump. And, because I had money coming in, I had a good title.
Yeah.
It was a stay-at-home position. I have young kids. I mean, it was perfect.
It was perfect.
But at the end of the day, there was always something that would lead me, like just these whispers, these internal dialogue that the universe was telling me to just jump. And one of the videos I watched one time, which made a huge impact on my life, was that Steve Harvey jump video.
Jump. There's not going to be a net. You're going to fall. It's going to hurt.
But you got to jump. If you want something more, you have got to jump.
Good.
And I watched that video a million times. And finally, I said, okay, I got to jump.
It's scary.
I mean, it was literally scary. I quit my job and I did this full time. And that may not work for everybody, but in this instance, it was the perfect ending to my career. It was a perfect time for me.
And you said 2 years, so it wasn't like you just didn't jump. And I feel like I've learned, from my own lessons, like, don't just jump. Like, don't just quit your job the day that comes in your mind. You have to kind of sit there and like feel it out and find out where it's leading you, because we need money, we need income, we need to financially be able to provide for our families. So, but when you get that whisper, don't let it go. Like like you said, it didn't let you go, so it wasn't even an option. It kind of held on to you and just kept popping up for you. It's true. It's exactly how it feels. It's a whisper.
Yeah, and what I noticed is kind of, I was late 30s. I am late 30s, and I was, what worked for me previously, early 30s, 20s, is not who I was now. Mm-mm. And Kim and I talked a lot about this at New Year's Eve, was that, I look around and a lot of my friends feel the same way, and a lot of people that I know feel the same way, especially women, and some of them are, self-medicated, and some of them are just on medication, and I've wrestled with that too, because...
Just miserable.
Yeah, because at that time before I jumped, I didn't know, should I jump now, should I not? I knew I wasn't happy. I was, I could feel it wearing down on me, and it did almost become a depression, and I did have anxiety from it, and so...
Yeah, and stress will do a number on our bodies.
Yeah.
And we were, self-medicating, it's like we overeat or overdrink, or we kind of just try to stuff those feelings down because it is uncomfortable to take the leap, and it does interrupt our lives, and it makes us question who we are, what we're doing here. So how has this changed your life?
Well, I think in a couple of different ways. For me, I think it's first and foremost getting out and doing something that is completely out of your comfort zone has changed my life.
But how has it changed life? Because at first it sucks, right? At first you're like, what am I doing?
I mean, I've cried. Like, I'm like a baby. I just think of it like this. When I first started this, and I'm still not out of baby zone, but it's like a baby and you're throwing a temper tantrum every 5 minutes because you can't figure something out, or you did something wrong, or you don't think you're good enough, and you just kind of melt down. And I have had so many meltdowns, God bless my husband, who's put up with me. But, you don't think you're good enough. You don't think that it is what you're creating is good enough. You don't feel
second
secure.
Guess everything.
Yeah. And then, so what it's done is it kind of made me, ironically, more secure and more confident, because...
Did you find you're happy?
I'm finding my happy.
See, that's what it's all about.
I think that
Where's the happy?
Yeah, I'm still in pursuit of happy, but I know that I am in charge of my happy.
Yeah, and you're like in that, you just keep, I
don't cry anymore.
Well, that's good. Yeah, no, and or like I would like go under my covers on my bed and just be like, I don't want to face the day. Like, I feel miserable and I feel stuck, and it just kind of weighs heavily on you, and it doesn't matter how much joy you have in your life, how beautiful and happy your children are. When you feel that way, it's encompassing everything in your life.
I mean, I read a lot of self-help books at that time, and I still do. I still
love them.
Yeah,
I love them.
I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was really, I would say, on the verge of like depression, and and
everyone just go talk to a doctor, get some
go get some medicine,
which is fine. If that's where you need to be, that is exactly where you need to be, and there's no, but I wanted for myself to go, what does it feel like for me to be happy? What does it feel like for me to choose what I want to do? What do I really want to do? And I had to have that, like, and I told somebody the other day, like, I felt like I just needed to, like, just throw paint on everything and just, like, whitewash my entire life and just be like, what makes me happy? Like, get down to the bare bones of what it is, where I'm truly feeling fulfilled and joyful, because I could continue on exactly what I was doing, but am I happy? And that we deserve to be happy.
Yeah, and I think that the important part was you took a minute or took some time, and I think that was, you know, every time you go through a change in life, whatever it is, whether it be your age or career. I remember one of my favorite authors is Alanya Vincent, and she says every time you go through a change, whether it be a divorce, a relationship, a career, anything, take a minute and pause.
Yeah.
Because you're just going through so much that sometimes you just need to pull back and kind of
see where you're at.
Take a deep breath, assess it, and then go. And I think that's what I've learned.
That's exactly. Okay, I feel like I just need to, like, sit in that for a moment. Like, you really just take a beat and just, like, where am I at? How do I feel?
Yeah, and that's when those whispers come, because I think you and I were talking about how, you know, how do you know what to do next, or, you know, where do you meditate?
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, how do you reach your higher self? How do you get to that? How do you hear the whispers?
Yeah, so, well, first I became aware of the whispers thanks to Oprah.
Oprah?
I gotta give a shout out to Oprah. Because
she says it's a whisper and then it'll become a brick.
Oh, that was, again, life-changing. Steve Harvey, Oprah, and T.D. Jakes are they're like my people in my head.
They're like your little guides. Just sit on your shoulder and they tell you.
Brene Brown. They just sit there constantly. But
I love that.
That whispers, the brick wall, I mean, Google that.
Yeah, that's a great quote.
It's amazing how she breaks it down, and if you don't hear the whispers, you'll eventually hit the brick wall. And I hit that brick wall.
It's your health. Yeah, I mean, I went to the hospital and had, like, acute pancreatitis on the same spot that I felt the stress and the pain for so long. It was not. It was not a coincidence. Yeah. That's where that actually manifested and festered itself into that.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So what do you do to hear that? Like, how do you? What do you do to get into that place?
So I listen to my people. I do. I love taking walks and putting on, you know, motivational videos. And my favorite ones are really from, you know, T.D. Jakes and Oprah and Brene Brown and those. So
you've got to keep that
people. I love
hearing that stuff constantly, because I know I'm kind of a negative person. My brain will go real negative real fast.
Oh, yes, me too.
I feel like that's a lot of us. We have to listen to those positive all the time so I can stay on an elevated level.
Yes, and I try to do it in the morning because then that'll carry you the whole day. But there's things that I'll get from those things that will make me either a better person or think better or think differently. Yeah. And so I love those. And then
you said you get quiet, like right before bed?
Yeah. For me, I haven't mastered meditation yet.
Because you were talking about, like, meditation. I just don't.
Yeah.
You don't journal.
I have a Great Dane at home, and she's wild. And I just
we have children and
it's just crazy. And that's not an excuse. That is actually real. But so I don't really have a quiet place, but my life becomes quiet when everybody's asleep, and right before I go to bed is when I tend to everything just kind of comes to me, and I listen at that point. So that's kind of
and we were saying, does it have to be a 4-hour meditation to get that? You were like, I don't, do the Om and I don't get into that. And I think we need to have that conversation more of, like, it's okay. You don't have to take a sabbatical. You don't have to go to India to be spiritual. You don't have to go across the world to find yourself. You can do that right here by doing this work, by doing the inner work.
Yeah, and it's important for me. I think also with this is it taught me to always listen to myself before listening out here. Because, and also listening to up there, because up here goes in here and then out. So it all goes whoop. That's kind of how I
That's how you process
visualize
it. Visualize it. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I do. No, and everything that has come from in here has never failed. Now, it's not going to make me $1 million, or maybe it didn't make me the most high-profile person, but it definitely is the most fulfilling.
fulfilling. Well, and we can't be fulfilled, and we can't make $1 million and be fulfilled until we get fulfilled first.
Yeah.
And I think we see that a lot with movie stars, and you can get every single thing you want in your life and still be miserable.
Yep.
And that's the worst.
Yep.
When you have everything that you've asked for, I tell my girls, like my coaching clients, every check mark was there. Every single thing was checked off that I ever single wanted in my life.
Yep.
And I still felt off, miserable, not fulfilled, not living in my purpose, what was wrong with me. And then you go down that whole, like, how can I feel this way? There are people who have so much less than I am. How do I feel this way? It's okay. I think it's okay that we're honest and we voice our unhappiness. And I even had to have the conversation with my husband, like, it's not you that I'm unhappy with. It's, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something. I'm supposed to be on another path, and I don't feel like I'm living on the path that I should be doing. And so, you know, we had to have that conversation, like, it's not you, it's me, literally. It's me. And so we, you know, he let me kind of go on that journey of, like, reading the self-help books and listening to that stuff and going to this place where I could find my happy. And then when you come out of it, you're like, it's brighter. The world seems brighter and happier and more fulfilling everywhere.
Yeah, and you feel confident. I mean, you did something that, you know, was your passion, and that was a part of you. You created something, as my husband said. You created something.
It's like birthing a baby.
Every time an issue comes out, I literally am like,
I birthed a baby.
Woo! You know, because it's a part of you that you share with the world, and it's
vulnerability.
So much like
that's so good.
Like having a baby.
It's like having a baby.
But you know, back to what you said, it's not just about taking the jump, but let's say you're not in the position to just kind of quit your job, but you could do small things to start working towards that goal.
Because that's what you did, right? You didn't just jump.
No,
I
didn't. I didn't. I saved up a lot of money, but enough money to
you
where,
felt comfortable.
Yeah, my family wasn't going to be strapped. Important. Yeah, I think money was the biggest concern, and then sitting down, talk to your spouse, or, you know, just kind of rearranging your life to fit it as best you can. And, you know, sometimes you might have to work your job and do your side hustle. And that's all right.
That is all
right. Or maybe you do your hustle and then you have to get a job, and that's okay too.
It is whatever works.
Yeah.
And I feel like these men that, you know, like the whole like stigma of like the men turn 40 and go out and buy like a red Maserati to make themselves feel better. You're going to get that car and you're not going to feel that much better. The shininess is going to wear off, and you're still stuck with your limiting beliefs, your mindset, the way that you're feeling. So feel happy with where you're at.
Yeah, content.
So important.
Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm striving for peace. And then we'll get to happiness. Yeah. But, you know, happiness to me is peace. When I'm at peace, I'm my happiness.
100%.
Happiest.
Yeah. No.
Most content.
Content.
Even.
To me, it's like clarity.
Balanced.
Yeah.
You know, I look at, for me, everything should be balanced. And once it's balanced, which is hard, then I feel content. Yeah. And then I feel...
But then you can move on to the next thing that you're doing because everything feels good. Yeah. Well, I'm going to put all the information for Your Natural Guide under this post. And so everyone will have that information. You can go visit their website, see the online magazine. Where can they find your magazine?
Yeah, they can find it all around town. We do have a digital version that comes out on our website, so you can read it, or our Facebook page, and then you can pick up copies at our advertising partners who are located inside the magazine, and so they'll have tons of copies willing
to get your hands on it. Yeah. Oh, that's so great. Thank you so much for being here. It was lovely, and it was such, I was like, you know, New Year's Eve, I was like, oh, you're coming on. We're talking about this.
That was so fun.
We're on it's a journey to find our happy.
Yeah, good luck on y'all's journey.
Yes.
And we're here to help, so.
Yeah, leave a comment. We would love to hear from you. So I'll put all the information below, and we will talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.